If you are a leader and you're just using AI to help you draft emails, then you are missing the real opportunity, because drafting emails as a leader is not your highest value task. Today, what I want to show you is a way to flip things around so that instead of saying, how can I use AI? You'll say, what are my most high value tasks and how can AI help me do those? And I promise you, if you start using AI in this way, you'll start to feel like you have uncovered a new superpower. Welcome, I'm Scott Davison. I'm on a mission to master AI. And like most people, I started that journey using AI for low value tasks like email or image generation. But more and more, what I've found is you can really use it as a thought partner, as a strategic thought partner for some of your most high value activities. And that's where you start to really unlock the value. So let's talk about leadership. What makes a good leader? There are hundreds of books written on the topic of leadership, and there are lots of different leadership style. You can read biographies about Steve Jobs or Richard Branson. And the truth is, there's more than one way to be a successful leader. And it's really about finding the style that suits your personality and is the right leadership style for this situation. But I think what we can agree on are that there are some core skills that every leader needs to be able to perform in order to do their job. And what I want to talk you through today is how AI can enhance your ability to perform those core skills. Now, I've summarized this into 5 core skills or core responsibilities that every leader needs to treat as their highest value tasks. First one is strategic planning, so creating the vision and the plan for the business. Secondly, decision making. This is a core part of leadership, and this is why you're paid the big bucks. You need to be able to make difficult, high-stake decisions, and you need to be able to do it quickly and confidently. And again, AI can help with this. Thirdly, communication. It's one thing to be able to create the vision and the plan or to make these big, bold decisions, but you need to be able to effectively communicate that to people and get other people on board with your vision. The fourth skill is people. So being able to manage people and motivate your team and your people to be able to help you achieve your vision. And then the fifth skill, which all leaders need to be able to manage, is competing priorities. So how can you be really good at prioritizing your time and helping your team prioritize their time so that everyone is focused on the core objectives for the business? So what I want to do is talk you through each of these 5 core skills and give you some practical examples of how you could be using AI to really enhance your ability to perform these skills and really improve your performance as a leader. So let's start with strategic planning. This is a core part of your role as a leader, is to come up with the strategic plan. And the first part of that is really the ideation phase. And this is where AI can be really powerful. And to be honest, this is probably one of my favorite uses of AI, is using it for brainstorming or to flesh out ideas. And this is where I find myself actually using the audio mode a lot more often these days. You flick to audio mode. And you can even ask AI to interview you and to ask you questions as a way to really get that brainstorming ideation process happening. So here's a sample prompt you could be using to show you how this might work. You are my strategic thought partner. I have some rough objectives and constraints for my business, and you can insert the details there. The more context you can give it, the better. Please interview me with probing questions. Ask me one question at a time until you have enough detail to create a draft strategic plan. And you can really use AI in that way to help you bring your ideas to light and get them into a plan. But perhaps you already have your strategic plan that you've put a lot of work into. Another really effective way to use AI is to use it to stress test that plan and to do some scenario planning. This is where you can sort of use AI, ask it to put on its black hat and sort of perform the devil's advocate and to try and find things that you perhaps haven't thought of, or to see things from a different angle. So again, here's a prompt you could be using that will show you how that works, this or something similar. So you are my strategic thought partner based on the following strategic plan, and you just upload the plan you've got. Generate 3 plausible market scenarios for the next 12 months. For each scenario, outline potential opportunities and risks, and then challenge my assumptions by identifying how this plan could fail or backfire. It's a really effective way to use AI to identify things and potential risks that you haven't thought of. So let's move on to number 2, the core leadership skill of being able to make fast, effective decisions. Decision making is such an important skill for a leader, being able to make fast, effective, high risk, high stake decisions with confidence. But often leaders are either having to go on gut instinct because they don't have enough data to make database decisions, or the reverse, they might be overwhelmed and have too much information, too much data, and it's almost paralysis by analysis, and they're putting off making decisions. AI can be a really great tool for taking huge amounts of data. You can upload reports, you can give it statistics, you can give it as much data as you've got, and that can be unstructured data. And it's a really effective tool for looking at that data, spotting patterns, and finding insights that will allow you to make better informed decisions. This was something that previously would take teams of data analysts or market research agencies weeks and cost thousands of dollars to do this sort of data analysis. And you can literally do it in seconds using AI. So there's no reason now to be making uninformed decisions. If you've got the data, you can be using AI to help you get better insights out of that data. Again, you're still the leader. You're in the driver's seat. Ultimately, it needs to be your decision that you're comfortable with. But by using AI, firstly, it can be better informed, and secondly, it can speed up the process so that you can start making faster decisions as well. Okay, so the third core leadership skill is communication. It's one thing to have the vision and to create the plan or to be able to make these big, bold decisions. You really, as an effective leader, you need to be able to sell that vision and communicate the plan to your stakeholders. Now, this could be communicating it upwards to your board or to your shareholders. It could be communicating the message down to your leadership team and your staff, or indeed the message you put out to your clients, to the market and to partners. These are all different audiences, and they all have slightly different needs in terms of the best communication approach. And this is where AI can really help craft your message for different audiences. You can get it to take on the persona of those different groups, and you can stress test your message against those different personas. Here's a sample prompt that you could use to do this sort of process. You are my communication coach. Here's my draft message, and you insert the key message or the key points. Take on the persona of a board member, or take on the persona of a disgruntled staff member, and provide feedback on how this audience may perceive the message. Suggest specific improvements to make it more clear, engaging, and persuasive for them. So try that prompt or something similar on your next key message, and you'll be amazed that it often will bring up things that you hadn't thought of. Oh, that's a different way of looking at it. Maybe I'll tweak the messaging for that audience in that way. You know, we all have our own biases and preconceptions, and it's very easy to have a message clear in your head. But until you've looked at it from the audience's perspective, you often might have missed things. So using AI in that way is a really effective way to get better communication. So hopefully you're getting the gist here. This is about looking at the really high value core leadership skills that have the biggest impact on your business, the things that really move the needle, and then looking at and asking, how can AI help me do those better? And if you do that, you start to unlock the real power of AI. So let's move on to the last two. Number 4 is about people. Inevitably, if you're leading a business, you won't be able to do everything yourself. You're going to need to have a team of people who can help you deliver the plan and deliver on your objectives. And this is a real core leadership skill. And one of the things that can be the difference between success and failure is, are you able to identify, recruit, and motivate the right people, the best people, to deliver on your objectives and your vision? This is absolutely crucial. We all know that feeling. Hopefully you've experienced that feeling where you've got a high-performing team, all working to a shared goal, all meeting their objectives. It really does feel like magic, but it's complicated. Working with people is complicated. We've all got different personalities, different motivations, different life stages. So again, using AI to get different perspectives on things and to challenge some of your biases can really help you be a more effective manager of people. Here's a sample prompt you could use in this area. You are my talent strategist. Based on this strategic plan, insert your plan, and this org chart, maybe upload your existing org chart, identify potential skill gaps now and over the next 12 months. Recommend whether to hire or upskill for each, and suggest targeted development actions, training programs, and customized development plans for individual team members. Again, a really strategic, high-value way of using AI to help with the people management side of your role. Which brings us to the fifth and final core leadership skill, prioritization. And this is critical because there's so many things competing for your time as a leader, and it's critical that you can dedicate your time and your focus, but also focus your team's time on the tasks that are most important to delivering on your objectives. And again, there's thousands of books that have been written on prioritization. There's lots of different models out there, and you might have ones that work well for you. I love the 80-20 rule, for instance. I often apply that when I'm thinking about where to focus my time. But you can use AI to help keep you on track. It can be both like a really effective EA to help you manage your time, but also a productivity coach to really make sure you're focusing and applying these models to deliver on your core objectives. Here's an example of a prompt you could be using. You are my executive assistant and productivity coach. Based on my strategic goals, insert goals, and current commitments, insert your current calendar or your to-do list, create a prioritized to-do list for the week. Include which tasks to delegate, which to schedule, and any opportunities to batch or automate work. So you're using AI to help you really look at how you're spending your time and identify where perhaps the red flags are, where you're wasting your time and where you should be focusing your time, and then applying that to the week ahead. As I say, it's a kind of a combination of a EA and a productivity coach. So that's it. It's a quick fire episode. Those are the 5 core strategic leadership skills I wanted to talk about, and some examples of how you can be using AI for these really high value tasks. And AI will not only help you with these, it will actually make you way more effective as a leader. And that's why, as I say, it feels like a superpower. But the important thing here is that you're still in the driver's seat. You're still the leader. You're paid to make the decisions, to come up with the plan. You're not replacing yourself with AI, but you're using AI to enhance your ability to be an effective leader. Hope you enjoyed that episode. My challenge to you this week is to identify one of those 5 core skills. That's something that's on your list. Let's try and choose the one thing that will make the biggest difference this week to delivering on your objectives. Take that one thing and think, how can AI help me do that? And hopefully some of these example prompts I provided today can be applied in that scenario. If you do, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you're using AI for, how this has changed your perspective in terms of the ways in which you can use AI, and really start to use it to apply it to these high-value tasks and help you be a more effective leader. I really hope you're getting value from these episodes and from this podcast. If you are, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this. And put your comments below with any feedback. I'd love to hear from you. I love getting the feedback, so please take the time to do that. And until next week, thank you for joining me on this journey to learn more about AI. I'm Scott Davison, and this is My Way or the AI Way.